Good morning, good morning. It is 9:16. I am awake, and I've decided that I'm gonna watch Hunger Games this morning. I just have to hope that we bought it on Apple TV, because all the other places to watch it, we don't have subscriptions to.
Get ready, because this is year 6 of daily vlogging.
We have Mockingjay on here, so I have a feeling it might be on here, but we'll see. We're gonna see in a hot second.
This movie's so good. I'm gonna say that like 4 times while I'm watching it.
Tell me why I am just now realizing that one of the tributes who I think he dies very early on. I think he's literally dies at the cornucopia in the bloodbath, I'm pretty sure. But he also plays young Derek in Teen Wolf. They just quickly cut when they're putting their trackers in their arms, and I was like, wait, I recognize that face. I am also a firm believer in the fact that the actress who played Clove, or plays Clove, deserved some sort of award. She is phenomenal. Every single time I watch the film or I see the film, my eyes immediately go to her, because she is like, she just plays that character so well. It is 11:54. I've just finished watching the Hunger Games film. Here's the thing. I meant to write, or meaning to write, some of the Aces feature today. However, I have completely forgotten how much I love the Hunger Games trilogy. And I am figuring I will have enough time to read Catching Fire, potentially even Mockingjay today. And if I can read those and get them out of the way, then I can focus better on the Aces feature. So, it's going to be a relaxing day today. It's going to be a book day. It was a movie book day, hanging out. I'm still in my pajamas. I'm probably not even going to change out of them. Just, hanging out. So that's what we're going to do. It's 8:20. I finished the series, and I will say I totally forgot how all over the place Mockingjay is. I honestly am not impressed by the last book at all. First 2 are great. Not that this last one is terrible, but it's as I said, it's all over the place. And like, there are some things that Katniss does that I'm like, that doesn't really seem like what we've come to know of Katniss. And like, there are some deaths in the book that you're like, okay, from a story standpoint, like, was that really necessary? Like, you were right at the end of the story, and I don't see how that decision pushed the character to like do something. And usually that's what you want in a story, is even if it's going to be a painful death scene, is it needs to happen to move the story along. So when there's a certain death that happens at the end of this book that is really heartbreaking, but it's right at the end of the book. The only thing it does is tear the main character to pieces, which doesn't do anything. I mean, the only thing it does do is it brings to light information. She thinks one person dropped the bombs that did that, and then ends up finding out that that's not the truth. Okay, super important thing. That would be a great reason, except that information never gets out to like the general public. There is a death that is on Katniss's hands that she makes a decision based on hearing that, and is like, okay, I'm going to make the decision to do this instead of this now. So, okay, cool. Why was that information that you found out, and the reason why you shot that person instead of the other person, why was that not revealed? Why were you not brought down to your own trial, and instead of, saying the reasoning of what you had found out and having it be investigated, instead they just wrote her off as like insane. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the person who is literally like led that's the other thing that bothers me in this book, is she doesn't want to lead the rebellion for the longest time. And I'm like, from what we have seen in the first 2 books, like how determined and how everything you are, like why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I'm very mad at it because the first 2 books are great. And then so much of Katniss's character development, or just who she is as a character, is ruined in this book. And it doesn't make sense. And it's like, I don't know if anyone feels the same way. I think some people do, but yeah. Anytime I go to reread the series again, I'll just read the first 2, not the 3rd. I'm dropping my phone. I think I'm gonna rent Catching Fire on Apple TV. I don't think I'll buy it because I don't think that would be one that I would watch over and over. But Hunger Games, the first one, for sure, because that's such a great film. Literally, even, okay, and I'll be honest too, I think I saw Mockingjay Part 1, but I don't think I ever saw Mockingjay Part 2. Because they did them in 2 different parts. Why? I don't really know. Because it's not like the Harry Potter series where the books get longer as they go on. In fact, Mockingjay is 1 page less than Catching Fire. So I don't really see why they felt the need to do that. Anyway, but literally at the end of the movie of Catching Fire, you see her, like, she gets bad news. I'm not gonna spoil it. She gets bad news at the end of it. And so she reacts, when she's upset, and then all of a sudden you see the resolve. You see her dedication. You see her anger come through. And I'm like, that makes sense. Like, that makes sense. So why in the world do they, as I said, in the book, I don't really remember how they spun it. I certainly hope they spun it differently in the movie. That is where they did a really great job keeping true to things in this one and in Hunger Games, the first one. But the movie the story would benefit from changes in Mockingjay. Just because, like, it doesn't make sense with her character. Like, it's one of those things that it's like, it's important to see really strong characters have breakdown moments completely. That's really important. Even if your character is really strong, it's important for them to have those breakdown moments. However, with the way that, like, Katniss breaks down in Mockingjay more than once, I'm like, that doesn't speak true to Katniss. That's not who you've set her up to be, even though, yes, this whole time she has not tried to cause a rebellion up until the end of Catching Fire, when she makes a decision, and the decision is her deliberately going, you know what? These people are wrong for doing this, and these uprisings should be happening. So it makes no sense that in Mockingjay she doesn't want to be their Mockingjay at first. I don't know. If anyone on here has read the series or read it recently and agrees, let me know. Or if you don't agree, I'd love to hear what you think of it, just because there are so many things that I feel like don't add up. That was the one. Hunger Games, the book, kept my attention so easily. Catching Fire did. But it makes sense now why Mockingjay was the one in my mind that I was like, I know how it all ends, but I did not remember the contents of that book. Now it makes sense. I will say, through my random selection, I'm excited that my next book I'm going to read is Alexandra Bracken's Passenger. I love Alexandra Bracken, and now I have the sequel to this as well. So I have Passenger and Wayfarer. To be honest, I honestly just read the back of the book like today when I pulled it out. It's just Alexandra Bracken honestly has not written. I mean, she's written the Darkest Mind series, which I adore, one of my favorites of all time. She wrote Lore, the standalone, so good. She also wrote the Prosper Redding, I think that was a trilogy. That was more of like a middle grade book, but I read it anyway and I really enjoyed it. So kind of my rule of thumb is any of Alexandra Bracken's books, You may notice that half of my chin is flaming red right now. that is because I was picking at the dead skin that was there earlier, and I just put on my different acne stuff that I put on every night. And obviously, since it is fresh, it's irritated. So I've been trying to do better at putting lotion on my face every single day to try to, you know, avoid dead skin. Because then stuff like this happens. So the only thing is I didn't exactly notice an issue with like parts of my skin flaring up until after I put these on and took them off. So I don't want to think that it's a leftover thing from there. Sure, I did put them on my chin, but I don't actually think I put any over on this area, nor did I put any on my cheek where it's mostly flaring up. I don't really know. I do have sort of sensitive skin though, on my face at least. Not enough to be like, since I don't use a lot of products on my face and stuff, not enough to like have to specially go shopping. Now, if I did use products for my face, maybe I would have to do that. But I've used the Different gel for years and that has not caused an issue, so I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it. Either that or really make sure that I do a better job at not accidentally picking up my face, which isn't something that I've dealt with before, but gotta make sure it doesn't come an issue now. The other thing is I need to make sure that it's not this itself. Because this I did not get. I got it from Nancy because, hang on, I have a email. Sorry, message. I got an audition in for something that I submitted for. So anyway, I gotta make sure that it's not this, because I got this from Nancy when she didn't want it back when I was sending her stuff from Vancouver to Spain. And I don't know how old it is. So anyway, I'm gonna head to bed. Tomorrow morning I plan on heading to a book sale and potentially an estate sale that I looked up the address and it is literally 8 minutes away from the library that I'm going to the book sale at. So I figure why not, because the house looks so like elegant and insane, and there are some items there that I would love to go check out and see. And plus, as I said, 8 minutes away. Anyway, and then I'm beginning the writing of Aces tomorrow. I'm very nervous, but I'm excited. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. On social media is in the description. Love you all.